On September 9th, 2008, an island was released. It's very secretive, so I can't say much about it, but I did get clearance to relay a few details about it today. Look at Director D and look at this guy. Can you say splitting image? This guy is James Bond, and to get the obvious out of the way, this island is heavily based on the James Bond franchise, and this is specifically seen through the concept of the laser pin and the appearance of Director D. The idea of dramatic espionage is loosely referenced throughout the island. I could go on, but the concepts of documents as well as acronyms with double meanings, spy gear, interference at restaurants, and so many other things are what make up classic spy movies. This is even referenced in the attic where you rescue the second agent. There's a box titled Old Movies. I wonder what kind of movies those are. Although, as usual, before movies there is almost always a book, and the book series referenced by this island is unsurprisingly the James Bond series. Okay, enough of James Bond. The enemies of the island are trying to make everybody bald, right? Well, that is referenced in the names of certain locations, such as Balding Avenue and Toupee Terrace. Notice how these names are hair related but reference people not having hair. Speaking of baldness, the aforementioned attic that you enter very clearly belongs to a bad agent. This is referenced by the boxes inside that say, and I quote, global domination notes, end quote, as well as, quote, evil schemes, end quote. If you look in the very back of the attic, you see a painting labeled Picasso. Picasso was a famous artist who was well known for embracing his baldness. He even made a sketch called Bald Painter before his easel. It's hard to tell what painting is inside of this brown wrapper though. Maybe, just maybe, it's actually The Scream, another painting of a bald person that spies in Poptropica seem to have an affinity for. Spy Island also happens to be the first island to feature a different time of day, and I am here for it. This moon just makes the perfect thumbnail, and it makes the island seem so mysterious and exciting. Just as the night places a shadow over the land, if you look closely at this building, you will encounter a bit of foreshadowing. This helpful piece of graffiti says to read File X vertically, and if you read the first letter of each line of File X, it references that Director D is evil. What makes this even more ironic is that File X glazes Director D all throughout. Talk about unsuspecting. In another instance of foreshadowing, a black cat crosses your path on this island. In Western culture, which Poptropica seems to follow because of its position as an American game, a black cat often symbolizes bad luck and encourages people to be suspicious of those who they keep close, like us with Director D. Man, we had so many hints and red flags about this guy, but the white suit and the shiny toupee just enchanted us. Also, you'll notice that all of the bad agents are bald, except for this lady, who was referenced on the Poptropica subreddit as the Spy Island baddie. Get it? Baddie? Another first, Spy Island is the first island to have a different difficulty. It has medium difficulty, which I think results from the pesky lasers and spy technology present on the island. Ugh, Poptropica problems. This also seemed to be a more advanced island for the developers to program, because Dr. Hare's developer persona says that the grappling hook bow tie you acquire was the most advanced thing the Poptropica creators made at the time. This is because of the way it was used and the way that your Poptropican moves when they use it. In my last video, Spider-Man was referenced on multiple occasions. I thought that the superhero fever was over, but it appears to have carried on into this island, because the official Poptropica guide compares the bow tie's powers to Spider-Man's ability to, quote, swing from building to building, end quote. It's true, but an interesting choice of words if I do say so myself. In Poptropica fashion, the end of the island is just as valuable as the beginning. If you poke around the headquarters, you will see that you take Director D's position as director of the spy agency. In another form of fashion, the inventory icon for this island happens to be this wacky pair of glasses. These are not any glasses. As you can tell, they are very famous for acting as fake disguises in various pieces of media. But these glasses are officially called Groucho glasses. They are named after a comedian named Groucho Marx. Their position as the logo for the Spyglass eyewear shop is very fitting, because these glasses withhold a position as a comedic disguise, which represents a comedic game with a comedic premise that ironically features very serious disguises. I mean, seriously, how ridiculous is this island? Also, I just felt obligated to mention the common room, which is called the Hair Club. This common room gives Poptropicans the ability to not only style their hair, but also show it off and mingle with others. This is a reflection of American culture in the 1960s, which valued hair and nightlife. Such a tribute to this specific part of American culture is fitting because the first James Bond movie was released in 1962. Also, this kind of stumped me when I was younger. I feel like it's necessary to mention this appears to be a hair dryer that makes the shape of the club. If you aren't familiar with getting your hair done or anything, that might have gone over your head. No pun intended. I love my hair and my Poptropicans hair, but I don't see why it is so valuable in this game, especially because you can literally customize any hairstyle you want, and you can even change the color if you go to 24 Carat Island, or I guess these days the Home Island, especially if you compare it to things like carrots, which run the whole economy of an island, water, which is the basis for Poptropica's gameplay, or especially jewels, which we will collect next week in Nabuti Island. Thanks for watching!